Greetings one and all, my name is Lancer and welcome back once again to Fate Zero. We will be doing episode 16 today, yes, just episode 16. So as I talked about last time, this is going to be another one that we do a one-off video for rather than doing 2 episodes at a time. But before we get into this episode, last time on Fate Zero, episodes 14 and 15, the battle against Caster, Saber, Lancer, and Ryder all working together to defeat him. Meanwhile, of course, Archer and Berserker had their own dogfight battle, which Gilgamesh actually lost. He was actually outwitted by an insane servant. And while those two servants were fighting, the masters of those two servants, Karya and Tokiomi, were having their own little battle. Though it wasn't so much a fight as much as Karya just calling Tokiomi a bastard and saying that he'll kill him, and then Tokiomi finally being like, you know what, it's time to put you down. Fire magic, goodbye. And then he left it to Kirei to finish him off, which ultimately Kirei decided to spare Karya. Going back to what him and Gilgamesh talked about a few episodes prior, that he's taken an interest in Karya for whatever reason. But going back to the Caster battle, ultimately it came down to Lancer having to sacrifice his gay bow, his yellow spear, in order for Saber to regain her full power, the control over her left hand, so that she could unleash her anti-fortress noble phantasm, Excalibur. Saber absolutely obliterated Caster, and in a last flash of light, Caster saw Jeanne d'Arc, the actual Jeanne d'Arc, one last time, exclaiming, "What have I become? Done? We'll never know." Caster actually felt regret in his last moments. Hard to believe. Oh yeah, and also Ryunosuke took a fucking headshot from Kiritsugu. Good riddance to that. But either way, we will now be getting into episode 16. As I talked about last time, we're done with whatever happy sort of segments. All of Fate Zero is dark, but there was a lot of more happy segments in the first half, and that's honestly been fun to do, but then I have to remember, like, oh god, this second half, like, there's still gonna be some smiling and fun stuff, but I think there's enough me talking about it, because let's just say I'm wearing black for a reason. So let's just get right into the episode. Kenneth.
Apologies for keeping you waiting.
Haven't seen you in a while.
I'm sure it couldn't be helped, given the extraordinary situation.
Yeah, this is still the same night as the Caster battle.
Regarding my request, I'm curious as to what your decision is.
He doesn't have pupils anymore, it's kind of a cool detail.
I speak, of course, of the reward offered for Caster's defeat.
That was the thing. The church and Rise did say, it's like, whoever defeats Caster will be rewarded an extra command seal. Of course, their plan was for Archer to defeat him. So yeah, I mean, it should be obvious, just like, yeah, it goes to Saber. But, I mean, they'll talk about it here in a second. Oh no.
This is wonderful.
No, Sola-Ui.
Our dear Moot and I will finally be truly connected forever.
Well, so much for connection.
My right hand! It's gone! It's gone!
Yeah, you gotta remember the last couple episodes, Maya wasn't with Kiritsugu during the Caster battle, and she also said, just like, should I take out the target? The sights are still set on Lancer and Kenneth.
My right hand!
Jesus, so much.
I have secured Sola-Ui over in Newtown.
Take out the command seals. Jesus. Oh yeah, Kirei.
I saved Karyamato.
Brought him home.
There is no excuse. This is an act of rebellion. What is this I'm feeling?
Feeling?
It is not regret.
You feeling joy?
The servant Lancer played an important part in the overall conduct of the battle.
Yeah.
As Master of Lancer, I have the right to receive one of the command seals.
It's not that simple.
The petition I submitted to the church to be considered a master was filed in my name and did not include Sola-Ui.
Now, Lord Archibald, extend your hand, please.
Yeah, when you break it down technically, Saber wouldn't have been able to defeat Caster if Lancer didn't break his spear. Even though Saber delivered the final blow, you know, technicalities.
This is my blood, the blood of the everlasting covenant, which will be poured out for you and for all mankind.
It's like communion. I like that a lot of the Fate stuff is tied to, like, biblical stuff. I mean, obviously, there's the literal church in this.
I hope you will continue to fight a noble battle for the Grail as a worthy master.
Yeah, noble. Fuck's sake. I forget that Rise takes back shots in this episode. For once, it's the priest that takes them.
I cannot allow the other masters an opportunity to acquire an additional seal.
Shit's gonna...
Mistress Sola-Ui,
This episode already has such a different tone. Like, Kenneth is already doing his own thing. Sola-Ui is already taken out. You just feel it's like this is all Kiritsugu before we even see him.
You useless bumbling fool! You couldn't even protect a single woman from being attacked? What good are you as a servant, I ask you?
I did not miss your voice, Kenneth.
Sola-Ui, I should have never given you those command seals.
She was breaking your fingers. Neither of you were exactly pure.
It's just as it was in the legend.
Ugh.
Are you truly incapable of seeing your lord's fiancée without attempting to seduce her? You're nothing but a beast who swore an oath of eternal loyalty to his master.
I mean, you're not the one that supplies him with mana, so if he wanted to kill you, not that he would.
I wished only to defend my honor, to fight well in noble battle and achieve victory on your behalf.
Don't you ever speak to me in that manner, servant! Use your precious pride to resist my command seal. You'll never win. You servants are mere puppets, and the seal the string that controls you.
Yeah, but once you use it, you don't have anything anymore. That is an important line to consider, though, going forward. The command seal is what controls them.
Something is approaching this building.
Something, more like someone.
It's already starting to fall apart.
Well, my, allies found this place and informed me.
My allies. Yeah, still don't want to give away your true master. Yeah, again, remember, this is the same night as the caster fight.
You would not happen to know where my master's betrothed is, would you?
No, I do not.
Kiritsugu's even keeping an eye in the dark.
We needn't worry about being interrupted.
Perfect opportunity to continue.
But this may be the best night for us to finally finish our battle.
He doesn't have a second spear anymore, though. Yeah, he doesn't have a second spear, and she's a little bit drained, so I'd say pretty even. Pretty much where they left off, I would say.
The only thing in this world that still grants my heart peace is your honor and the purity of your fighting spirit.
Aw, just kiss already. Shh. Lightsaber, man. She's actually using Excalibur. I mean, yeah, at this point, it's like, what's the point in hiding it? Oh, the music. Oh, man.
Her attacks are too weak.
I've debated whether or not I like this fight more than their first one.
You will not use your left hand?
Oh my god, you're such an honor-bound
Don't get me
fighter.
wrong, if I use my left hand here, the shame is certain to dull my blade.
She's... God, such a Goku move. I mean, continuing where they left off. Dull my blade. Ugh, I just love these two, man. I'm gonna cry. This might be the episode that breaks me.
Pride is in the blade of chivalry. Saber, I am glad I was able to meet you. I am First Spear of Fianna, Diarmut Odine. I come for you.
Pause.
Arturia Pendragon accepts your challenge. Come then!
Dude, I wish that they actually got to see their fight through to the end. Dude, Yuki Kaidra's fucking music, man. One of these days, I'm getting close to it, getting to that point, especially now going through this again, where I'm probably gonna go through Sword Art Online at some point soon. As cringe and whatever as it is, at least from what I've heard about it, it's Yuki Kaidra who composes it, man. And some of the music I've heard for it just is so fucking good. But just that there, just Lancer, it's like, this is a proper, like, rivalry and almost, like, friendship battle, even at this point, after everything they've been through. Just that line, pride is in the blade of chivalry. I mean, it ties back to what Ryder talked to her about, just that whole chivalry idea. I'm sure she finds comfort, actually, like, talking to Lancer, because, again, like, coming off her conversations with Ryder and Gilgamesh, where they just berate her for her chivalry, and then Diarmut, who's very similar to her, they have just that unspoken bond. Like, even just with their fights, like, they're smiling, man. They're Saiyans. You can tell just from both of them, it's a fight they don't want to end. It's a shame that it does.
If he has no certain path to victory, should he not escape with his master instead of risking defeat? Why can he not understand even that simple concept? He's a useless servant!
Bullet. Oh, Kiritsugu. Like I talked about, it's like this first half of the episode, you could just feel it's like this is Kiritsugu's doing, and then once you finally see him, just no words. The fact that he throws him like a bullet.
Why him? Of all people?
Oh, dude. This plan.
A Self-Gaia scroll. A powerful magical item that has been used throughout the ages to forge an absolutely unbreakable pact between one mage and another.
Following actions. The pledge is to be obeyed by the affected party. Kiritsugu, son of Norikata, 5th heir to the House of Emiya, will be forever forbidden from harming Kenneth Elmaloy Archibald and Sola-Ui Noata Re Sophia-Ri.
The curse of the Geas cannot be removed by any means known to the mage world. Even if you forfeit your life, it will bind your soul, even in death.
God, it's one of those things where just like, where the fuck did this come from? But the Self-Gia scroll, it's something that I kind of wish we saw more of in Fate stuff. Just that idea is just like two mages swearing an unbreakable bond. And that part there, just like, even if the user forfeits their life, their soul is, I want to know the specifics of that. It's like their soul is bound to the other person, or it's just like they can't pass on, maybe. They're just a ghost. But yeah, the Kiritsugu just fully fucked Kenneth here.
It's true that if I do what's written on this scroll, he cannot kill me. But under these terms, the fight for which I prepared my entire life will end here. He asks me to throw it all away?
What it'll be.
Sola-Ui.
I mean, she clearly doesn't care about him. I know that's wishy-washy, but no, she doesn't care about him. She's like breaking his fingers so she could control Lancer. He still loves her, and that's his own folly. Fuck sake, man.
Use your remaining command seals to compel your servant to commit suicide.
Oh man, Lancer.
You wanna win. You have crushed my sole remaining wish. And you just stand there. Do you not feel any shame at all? I will never forgive you. I will never forgive any of you.
I love the voice change. Well, I mean, literally his mouth is filled with blood, but like his eyes as well.
May the Grail be cursed. May the wish it grants bring disaster. And when you fall into the searing pits of hell, you will remember the hateful rage of Tiamat!
Kiritsugu's still my boy, though. Well, Lancer's dead. It's so... There's still so much left to talk about, man, but fucking hell. I love his voice change there, but like he's right in that sense, just like you've destroyed. It's like the one chance of life that a servant has, and he just scored it. I love that line, though. You want to win so badly. I curse the Grail. May it bring disaster. Remember that line going forward. It's cool, like that binding, just like force your servant to commit suicide. The thing is here, even if Kenneth was like, no, I won't. I mean, in theory, you could have maybe done a thing where Kenneth, instead he uses the command seal to have Lancer be like, come to my side, help me. Because I feel like even Kiritsugu wouldn't have been fast enough to stop Lancer. Again, it shows just he does still care about Sola-Ui despite her literally betraying him. It's a shame Sola-Ui will never know that love that was given to her.
I can no longer kill you or Sola-Ui.
Got her too.
I can't, but...
It's that kind of moment. It's like a Death Note kind of moment. Just using the rules in such a way. Kiritsugu, man, he's a dirty fighter. I mean, he doesn't even fight like that. It's like he bends the rules to help him. Just having Maya there. It's just like, I can't kill you, but she can.
Kill me now.
Sorry. Our pact forbids me to.
She can. That's crazy. Even in the end there, Kenneth begged for death. Ties back to like their fight a couple episodes ago where it's like, you know, I'll make you beg for mercy and all that. And then here he is at the end.
Kiritsugu Emiya. I finally recognize you as the lowly beast that you are.
Didn't even tell Irie either.
I can no longer believe that your desire for the Grail has anything to do with salvation. What is the true reason you desire the Grail?
Answer her, Kiritsugu. After everything that has happened, you owe her an explanation.
If you only eliminate a master, the servant may enter into a pact with another party.
No, Kiritsugu. Not to me. Talk to Saber.
Before we get into this monologue, I love that he doesn't even acknowledge, like, even throughout the entirety of this story up to this point, it's like he doesn't even acknowledge Saber, really. I don't think they've even talked. Now looking back on it all, it's like, I don't think Saber and Kiritsugu have ever exchanged words. Like, they kind of did, like, leading up to, like, the forest battle with Castor, but again, he was more talking to Irie, and Saber was just talking at Kiritsugu. I love how this is symbolized as well. It's just literally opposite ends, and then Irie in the middle. It's cool that, like, Saber hasn't even put her sword away either. I mean, similar to how Canis talked about with Lancer, it's like he only views Saber as just another tool for victory. It just so happens that that tool has cognitive thought and opinions. You know, it's a chess game, but, you know, the chess pieces can talk and move on their own.
Honor, glory. There's really no point in speaking to a killer who extols the virtues of such things.
You would even insult chivalry to my face, monster!
Such illusions created by heroes throughout history have led countless young men to their bloody deaths.
He's not wrong, though. Again, my ethical hero side wants to side with Saber, but, like, the real world, realist side of me agrees with Kiritsugu. This whole notion of honor, chivalry, like he said, there's no place for that on the battlefield. It's like, it's life or death. One way or another, it doesn't matter. You do the same things I do, but you just try to do it in a, what you claim to be honorable method. She kills all the same.
Even the taking of a life in battle, as an act of a human being, must have ideals. Otherwise, every war would bring the very fires of hell to this world.
You heard her, Irie. Our heroic spirit over there considers a battlefield to be better than hell. What a joke. A battlefield is hell itself. There's no hope to be had on one, but humanity has never recognized this truth. And the reason is that in every era, a dazzling hero has blinded the people with their legends. And true human nature has not advanced a step beyond the Stone Age.
He is right. What movie or thing is it from where it's just... Oh yeah, it's from Aliens, right? It's like, how many people are you gonna screw over just for a damn percentage? But it's something like that, where it's just humanity, just as much as they're like, yeah, human race, united, we are strong. It's like, no, at the end of the day, it's every man for himself. I say they, but we will all do whatever it takes to prolong our own agendas or just put forth our own ideals, no matter who we gotta crawl over, push down, drown to get to them. It's like, obviously Kiritsugu, he is a hypocrite in that sense, where it's like he's doing the same things, but like he's aware of it though. And of course the ignorance and childlike bliss that Saber is stuck in with that chivalrous mindset, she doesn't see it that way. And that's where Kiritsugu is playing the adult, lecturing Saber just like Iskandar was.
I will win the Holy Grail and save the world. And I will wage that war with the most appropriate weapons I have at my disposal.
If you do evil to stop evil, that rage and hatred will give rise to new conflict. Kiritsugu, in youth, your truest self wished to be a hero, did it not? You believed in that. You desired it more than life. Am I wrong?
Look, man, because they are both the same. I think, like, that's the only time he's, like, looked her in the eye, I swear. I mean, it's kind of a mature thing there where she, like, actually is understanding him. Just like, you once desired to be a hero in your youth.
I'll ensure that the blood I spill in Fuyuki is the last that humanity will ever shed. If that means I must stain my hands with every evil in the world, I don't care. If that will save the world, then I do it gladly.
I'll do it gladly.
Irisville?
Irie, right as the sun comes up too. Brother. Oh my god, dude. That episode's fucking phenomenal. We're at a point in the series where we're just like, oops, all bangers. Fuck me. Well, that was episode 16 of Fate Zero. Now, more of the reason why I'm doing this episode by itself is mainly just that final scene there between Saber and Kiritsugu, which is, there's so much there, man. It's this monologue between Kiritsugu and Saber, and also the one between Iskandar and Saber that I think go hand in hand with each other. It sucks just for Saber, because, like, she is by all means one of the most powerful servants ever, but when it comes to wielding that power and knowledge, like Iskandar said, she's a little girl still. But yeah, just that little bit with Saber, like kind of trying to understand him, but just also that idea, both in what Lancer said in his final moments and also what Saber said here, your desire to end war, the conflict, will only spark more conflict. But Kiritsugu is just, the way he sees it, it's just he has nothing else, really. Like, if it weren't for this Grail War, if it weren't for R.I.P, if it weren't for this mission, another thing that kind of ties both Kiritsugu and Kirei, this singular mission, this purpose, is giving them a reason to live. Going into future stuff a little bit, but also just, I mean, it can be inferred, if it weren't for the Grail War, both Kiritsugu and Kirei, they probably would have killed themselves a long time ago. Again, there's a couple episodes we'll be getting into in which we're going to delve more into Kiritsugu, which I'm actually tempted to do those episodes before watching episode 17, just because 17 is going to delve into other characters and other stuff, and then we're going to go into the Kiritsugu stuff. So I think, yeah, I'm going to do it that way. So instead of watching episode 17 next, I'm going to watch episodes 18 and 19. I feel like that's paced better. Yeah, fucking hell, man. The last couple episodes, like the whole first season of Fate Zero, even though, again, it's slower paced and not as much as happening action-wise, again, it's character building, which then leads to moments like this episode to hit so hard. Because now, again, like I talked about before, we're at the point where every episode, pretty much up to the very end of the show, someone major is going to die. Fucking the amount of bodies that were stacked in this episode alone, like fucking Rise, Kirei's father, died at the start of this episode, then Lancer, and then Sola-Ui and Kainith. Like 4 major characters died in this episode. I forget, honestly, that Rise dies in this episode, just obviously because it's overshadowed by everything else that happens in this episode. I mean, we'll talk more about Rise and like Kirei's stuff as we go into episode 17, but just focusing on like Kainith and Lancer and all that. But oh man, it's the same that like through all of that, like as far as Sola-Ui knew, she died when Maya chopped her arm off, because from that point on she was unconscious, and then Maya shot her and then she died. I kind of wish we maybe got a little thing between Sola-Ui and Kainith, just like at the very end, like maybe right before Maya shoots him, she opens her eyes and looks at him, and then maybe Kainith smiles and just like, okay, maybe this was worth it, and then he gets shot. It's something, as a fucked up kind of dark fantasy writer like myself, a little thing I would shoehorn in. I get for like the pacing of it, it makes more for like a shocking moment, just like, yes, I cannot kill you or Sola-Ui. And it just sucks, man, like, because that fight between Saber and Lancer is so good. Again, like I talked about earlier, I still debate to this day whether or not I prefer this fight over their first one. I think overall I still prefer their first one, obviously just because it was longer, and also it was just like the ultimate showing for how the action in the series is going to be. And this one, again, it was shorter. Also, there's just that sinking feeling of, especially if you know what's coming, where it's just like you can't really enjoy it as much because you know that it's not going to be a fight. They both don't want that fight to end. That's why even Kainith was just like, why doesn't he win? There was a moment in the fight where it's like they both had their blades to each other's necks, so it's like they were even in that sense. I wanted to see what would happen if that fight actually went all the way. Also a cool thing with like Lancer, yes, pride is in the blade of chivalry. I'm glad to have met you, Saber, and just him laughing and smiling throughout their fight. And then Kainith using the command seal, and then he just curses, not just like Kiritsugu and Kainith, but like Saber as well. You just stood there and watched. It sucks because as far as Lancer knew, it's just Saber was part of that plan, you know, keep him distracted while Kiritsugu does that. It's just a shame that Saber couldn't tell him, just like, no, this wasn't what I wanted. It just sucks, man. Like, Lancer didn't deserve any of that. He didn't deserve the master he had. He didn't deserve everything that he had to put up with, and he didn't deserve his death. Though, granted, it was very cool because I still love Kiritsugu. It's one of those things where it's just like someone watching it could be like, oh man, fuck Kiritsugu. You know, it's the same reason why I love characters like Joel from Last of Us, Rick Grimes, Kenny from The Walking Dead, those dark characters who've been through so much shit in their life that go about expressing their emotions and doing their work in very gruesome ways, and at the same time they're just so numb to it all. It is truly what sets the tone for the remainder of the series. Well, I need to go do something happy. I guess we might as well start doing this. Pour one out for Lancer. And that's it. I'm not pouring out anything else for the other characters that died, because fuck them. I mean, Sola-Ui, but like, she only wanted to be with Lancer. It's her fault for choosing her spouse. Well, this was my reaction to episode 16 of Fate Zero. Join me next time as we watch episodes 18 and 19. Again, remember how I'm doing that, as well as everything else that'll be coming out soon. So until next time, I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching.